So here's something interesting. South Africa's cinema industry is in crisis. What was once a thriving entertainment sector that brought families and friends together for shared experiences is now facing an existential threat that's seen a third of the country's movie theaters disappear in just 10 years. This isn't just about empty seats or outdated business models. It's a complex web of economic, technological, and social factors that have fundamentally changed how South Africans consume entertainment as a whole. We're looking at the perfect storm of streaming services revolutionizing home viewing, ticket prices that have outpaced inflation by massive margins, economic pressures that are squeezing household budgets, and a pandemic that accelerated changes that were already years in the making. From the closure of the iconic venues like Cavendish Square cinema to massive retrenchments at industry giants like Ster-Kinekor, we're going to explore how multiple forces converge to threaten an industry that's been part of South African culture for over a century. But this isn't just a story of decline. It's also about innovation, adaptation, and the fight to remain relevant in a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. Let's start with the cold, hard facts. South Africa's two biggest cinema chains, Ster-Kinekor and Nu Metro, have closed roughly a third of their movie theaters in the past decade. That's not a typo, that's a third. We've gone from 76 cinema complexes in 2015 to just 51 in 2025. Ster-Kinekor alone has shuttered 21 locations, a devastating 38% decline that would make any business executive break out into cold sweats. Ubi. But here's where things get even more interesting. This isn't just a South African problem. Globally, cinema attendance has crashed by 8.8% in 2024, with 500 million fewer tickets being sold than the year before. Even the biggest blockbusters aren't pulling the crowds anymore. In 2015, the top 5 highest grossing movies collectively raked in $7.8 billion. Last year, the top 5 managed just $5.8 billion. That's 25% less. And all of this is before you factor in that ticket prices have actually increased over the decade. So if more people were going and the price was going up, it would be generating more money. So what is actually killing the cinema experience? It's not just one thing. It's almost like a perfect storm of factors that have fundamentally changed how we consume entertainment. For instance, the streaming revolution. Let's be honest, Netflix changed everything. When you can watch Oscar-winning films and star-studded series from your couch for the cost of one cinema ticket per month, the value proposition starts to look pretty skewed towards Netflix. Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Showmax, they've all invested heavily in content that used to be exclusive to the big screens. Some movies now hit streaming platforms on the same day as cinemas, if not sooner. You've got to then ask yourself, why would I battle traffic, hunt for parking, and then shell out serious cash when you can watch the same movie in your PJs with a homemade bowl of popcorn that probably costs like 10 times less? Then we've got to look at the price point problem. A regular movie ticket in South Africa now costs between 64 Rand 90 and 220 Rand, compared to 21 Rand to 110 Rand in 2014. That's not just keeping up with inflation, that's doubling and sometimes tripling in price. Nu Metro's tickets have jumped from a range of 51 Rand to 95 Rand in 2014 to 110 Rand to 210 Rand today. But here's another thing that just kicks you in the teeth. It's not just the tickets. As one frustrated moviegoer put it, the popcorn costs more than the ticket these days. A family night out, 2 adults, 2 kids with snacks can easily hit 1,000 Rand. Compare all of that to a Disney Plus subscription at 1,590 Rand for an entire year of unlimited streaming. And you start to understand why families are staying at home and choosing the alternative. Then there's the technology factor. Large screen TVs aren't a luxury item anymore. A decent 75-inch UHD TV won't break the bank like it used to. And when you pair that with good surround sound, suddenly your living room rivals what would have been a premium cinema experience. Why deal with sticky floors, talking to strangers, asking you to shush, and overpriced snacks when your couch offers better value, frankly? Let's also not forget the broader economic context of South Africa. We've been hit with things like load shedding, rising fuel costs, and general economic uncertainty. When household budgets are stretched thin, entertainment becomes a luxury, not a necessity. The rand has weakened drastically since 2014, from 10 Rand 53 to the dollar to 19 Rand 11 cents at some stages. That's an 81% decline. That affects everything from the movie licensing costs to equipment imports. The lockdowns didn't create these problems, but they certainly accelerated them. The lockdowns forced people to discover just how good their home entertainment setups could be. Many people got onto the drug of binge streaming at home. As Ster-Kinekor CEO Mark Sadi put it, old habits died, new ones formed, and people started to not want to go back to cinemas. It became harder to attract them. But behind all of these statistics are real people losing their jobs. Ster-Kinekor announced plans to retrench 236 employees out of 728 total staff in 2024. Though thankfully the actual number ended up being much lower. Still, the uncertainty is real. Departments across the board, from marketing to IT to cinema operations, these have all been squeezed. The employees themselves have pushed back, questioning whether load shedding is really to blame, because 75% of Ster-Kinekor's cinemas have generators. Then on top of that, there was the blaming of Hollywood strikes, and many feel that these were not as impactful as claimed because both strikes ended in late 2023. There's a human story here of people fighting for their livelihoods in an industry that is under siege, and that's terrible to even consider. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. Rather than simply rolling over and dying, both cinema chains are trying to reinvent themselves. Ster-Kinekor has launched Throwback Cinema, classic movies for just 50 Rand. Suddenly you can watch Back to the Future or Notting Hill on the big screen for far less than the cost of a decent lunch. It's nostalgia, affordable, and apparently working well enough to expand the program. Nu Metro, on the other hand, has gone the opposite route, doubling down on premium experiences. Their 4DX cinemas use motion seats, wind effects, water spray, and fog to make you feel like you're inside the action of the film. Their VIP cinemas offer full meals designed by professional chefs. Chef's kiss, I guess. It's all about creating experiences you simply can't replicate at home. Both of these cinema chains are also exploring partnerships and discounts. Nu Metro works with Absa Rewards, Nedbank, Vodacom, and offers to up to 50% discounts to its members. Ster-Kinekor has similar deals with Discovery Vitality and Pick n Pay Smart Shopper. The Tuesday Epic deal, popcorn, coke, and a movie ticket for 149 Rand. Well, suddenly all of these things are there to try and make cinemas more accessible again. What's fascinating to me is that this isn't necessarily a story of inevitable decline. Cinema attendance is actually up 20% year on year for Ster-Kinekor, and both chains are planning new locations. People still, funny enough, want the cinema experience. They just want it to be worth their while and their pocket. The industry is learning to segment its audience even more vigorously. Cheap thrills for budget-conscious families, premium experiences for all of those willing to pay extra, and everything in between. IMAX screenings consistently sell out because some movies demand to be seen on the biggest, loudest screens possible. When Dune, Oppenheimer, and even Avatar hit the IMAX, people were willing to pay for those premium prices and for that experience. Well, what is next? When we look ahead, the cinema industry's survival depends on answering one fundamental question. What can we offer you that your living room can't? The answer isn't just about bigger screens or louder sound anymore. It's about creating experiences, fostering some sort of a community, and understanding that different audiences want different things. Some might want the nostalgia and the comfort at bargain prices. Others want cutting-edge technology and luxury services. Some want family-friendly environments. Others want adult-orientated premium experiences. The cinemas that survive will be the ones that stop trying to be everything to everyone and start being something special to someone. They'll partner strategically to make their offerings accessible. They'll create experiences that justify leaving the home for. And they'll remember that cinema at its heart is about shared storytelling. The closure of places like Cavendish Cinema, they hit differently because this represents more than just another business shutting down. It's the end of a gathering place where first dates used to happen, where families made memories, where communities shared collective gasps and laughs and even tears. Those sticky floors and overpriced popcorn were the price of admission to something bigger than individual entertainment. They were part of our social fabric. But maybe this isn't the final credits rolling. Maybe it's just the end of Act 2, where our heroes face their darkest moment before finding a way forward. The cinema industry in South Africa is down, but it's not out. With creative programming, strategic pricing, premium experiences, and a renewed focus on what makes cinema special, there just might be a third act worth watching. After all of that, every good story needs a comeback, and sometimes you need to see it on the big screen to really appreciate it. Thanks for watching this video up until this point. We hope it was just as interesting for you to watch on YouTube as it was for us to make for you. Check out one of these other videos and hopefully they'll be just as interesting as this one. Cheers.